hey, what about the Yellowstone herd? And I asked you about this, and you never disputed it. I said, hey, look, the Yellowstone herd sounds like it went from, roughly 20,000 down to like 4,000. And that's a number that people reference over and over and over.
All right. Well, I'm a wildlife biologist, but I'm a historian too these days. It's because I've been around a long time out west. Yeah, I moved from Iowa to Montana in 1973. And in 1974, I had read about the opportunity to get a late elk tag and to go elk hunting over around Yellowstone. So a colleague and I went over, and I had my first elk hunt of my life. I had never even thought about going elk hunting before. But yeah, at the time, they had this late elk hunt in January or February, well after the seasons were over, the regular seasons. And so yeah, we went over there, and here's hundreds, probably thousands of elk, not too far from the highway. The snow is deep, and so we hiked in this drainage, and we were in there, I don't know, a couple hours, and some elk come out of the woods, and we shot them. And then if you wait till noon, outfitters would come in with horses, or you could even take snow machines in there and pick up the dead elk. It was no effort whatsoever. But the whole point of those late elk hunts was there's too many elk in Yellowstone and in that northern elk herd. So they've been doing that, I don't know for how many years before that I moved to Montana, but they were still doing it in the 80s and up until the 90s, trying to get that herd down. Well, the only thing that was really impacting that elk herd around Yellowstone are severe winters. They had a couple of years different years where the elk died by the thousands laying along the highway. They starved to death in the deep snow. So it's always been the goal to get this elk herd reduced. So along comes the wolf reintroduction in 1995 and 96, and at that time, that herd was in decline for a whole number of reasons. I mean, you've got grizzly bears that eat them, black bears, mountain lions. Then they had the hunting season trying to shoot them down, and these were antlerless too. I mean, we didn't go over there to hunt bulls. We went over to get, just a cow elk. And then you remind people that even today now, I think there's close to 5,000 bison in the park. At the time, I don't believe there were that many, but all these factors come together, and together influenced the reduction of the elk herd down to 4,000. It was not wolves that took them from 20,000 to 4,000. It was a combination of all these factors, and winter severity is one of the biggest indicators of how a population's going to do.